folks, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to lie. I am almost at my wit's end when it comes to this Maui fire story. They just reported some new numbers, or they revised the number of missing people. And I don't know if this is some type of joke or if they just think that we're stupid. But this is complete BS if you ask me. Now, you might remember that after the fires, initially, the number of missing people was somewhere around 3,000 people. Now, of course, when you have a crazy situation like this one, the number is always going to be inflated a little bit because there's panic, there's chaos. People need time for things to settle down so they can locate their loved ones and things of that nature. So it quickly went from around 3,000 to around 2,000. And then the number dropped to around 1,000, okay? Now, even at 1,000, I mean, from 3,000, that's a drastic drop. But you try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because, like I said, it's a crazy situation. There's confusion, and I get it. You know, I get it. But I found it really suspicious and really odd when that number went from 1,000 to 388 overnight. Now, I know some of you are sitting here like, well, I found it odd when it went from 3,000 to 2,000, and then when it went from 2,000 to 1,000. You're right, I get it. But when I really started thinking like, okay, something isn't right here, is when we saw that drop from 1,000, I think it was like 1,050 to 388. Because, like I said, I give the benefit of the doubt. In a crazy situation like this, you're going to have a lot of people who are reported missing who aren't necessarily missing. You got to get the confusion out of the way. But when that number dropped from over 1,000 to 388, we were already a couple of weeks out from the fire. So a lot of the confusion and the misconceptions and all of that nonsense, it was out of the way. But when we saw that drop from over 1,000 to 388, we did not see a rise in the death toll, not even one extra death. It's been sitting at 115 for weeks now. For weeks. So I found it suspicious because, all right, if you have over 1,000 people missing, 115 deaths, but now you got new numbers and now it's only 388 people missing, surely some of those people most likely died, right? So surely the death toll should be rising up as the number of missing goes down. That's just common sense. That's just reality. But it's not the reality here. At least it's not the reality that they're showing us. But now new numbers have come out. And these numbers are, if this situation wasn't so bad, I would be laughing my ass off right now at these numbers. And I almost want to bust out laughing right now, but here's the numbers. Now the list has dropped from 388 to 66. They claim that there are only 66 people currently missing. But you want to know what's odd again? The number went from 388 to 66 somehow overnight. Death toll has not risen, not even by one death. Death toll is stagnant. It's the same. Yet somehow the missing persons list went from 3,000 people, okay? 3,000 to 66. But the death toll hasn't risen. Not even by one death. Now, I'll be fully transparent with all of you. Math was definitely not my strongest subject in school. But I'm looking at these numbers and the math is just not mathing. I'm not even trying to be a conspiracy theorist here. I am not trying to sensationalize anything. I am not trying to be over dramatic, but the math just ain't mathing here, folks, in my opinion. You don't have over 3,000 people missing and then reduce that number to just 66 without the death toll rising at all. And think about this. Every single day, we are seeing new videos coming out of Maui, coming out of Lahaina. We are seeing locals speak out every day. Every day you come to my channel, and I am providing you all with not only my opinions, but I am showing you clips from people speaking out from all over Lahaina, from all over Maui, even other parts of Hawaii, right? These people are speaking out every day, yet there's not one single social media post. There's not one video, one TikTok of a family being reunited after their family members were missing after the fire. The government and some of these news outlets, they want to downplay this situation as much as possible. They want to make it seem as if the government's doing all of this work. So why wouldn't they put together a news special about family members reuniting in Maui and Lahaina? Why aren't we seeing somebody on a morning talk show talking about how they were missing, but then they reunited with their family after the fire? Why aren't there any tweets, any Facebook posts about people being so appreciative that they found their missing loved ones after the fire? I look around. I see zero, zilch, nada. None of this stuff is floating around. You would think that if over 2,000 people were found after they were missing from this fire, that you would see more talk about it, right? Like, I'm on social media all the time. You all are on social media all the time. A lot of you all are following this story just like me. Have you seen something that I haven't? Because I'm seeing locals speak out every day. I haven't seen any locals talk about how, oh, this family member was found, that family member was found after being missing. And then, where would all these missing people be? Where did they all go? And why aren't we given any explanation as to how, y'all came to this conclusion? How did you get to these numbers? 3,000 to 66. Where did you find some of these people? How do you know that these people are no longer missing? Where were they located? What happened? How did you go about getting to these numbers? There's no transparency there. It's just, oh, there's 3,000 people missing. Oh, now there's 2. Now there's 1,000. Now there's 388. Now there's 66. The number just drops drastically overnight with no explanation at all. And we're just supposed to go along with it. Go along with it. Never mind the fact that somehow over 2,000 people were reunited with their families after the fire, but you haven't seen a single story about that. I wonder why. Maybe because those stories don't exist. Maybe because these numbers might not be real. I mean, just maybe, right? But let's go ahead and dive into this article so we can get a better idea of what's happening here. And, of course, I'm going to have more thoughts after this article is over. At least 66 people remain unaccounted for a month after wildfires devastated a portion of Maui, and more names may be added to the list. The official missing list narrowed by 82% from 388 last week, but the dramatic drop could be partially reversed if reports about an additional 80 people who are believed missing are confirmed. Those reports are being vetted for credibility, the Maui Police Department said. You want to know what reports need to be vetted for credibility? all of the reports that y'all are putting out. Oh, we need to check for credibility. These people may be lying about their family members being missing. Meanwhile, believe us, trust us, as we give you false numbers. Since the beginning, everyone on the ground down there has been saying the same thing. They have all said that there are more people dead and missing than what the news is reporting. And now we're seeing this drastic drop in numbers. And already, these numbers just came out a couple of hours ago. And already we have what looks like about 80 families here. 80 families calling these numbers out saying, no, wait, where's my loved one? Why are my missing family members or missing husband or missing friend, why are they missing from this list all of a sudden? So, mind you, a lot of the people down in this area affected by these fires, they're not following the numbers like us. They're not looking at these news reports. A lot of them don't even have internet or cell phone service. They're having information blasted to them from loudspeakers attached to airplanes that fly overhead. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. So a lot of people don't even know that they're putting, oh, there's only 66 people left missing. Meanwhile, these people are wondering where their family members are. And a lot of them don't even know that their family member has been taken off the list. And keep in mind, they don't want us questioning these numbers. They don't want us questioning them at all. Yet here we are, at the time of this recording, these numbers just dropped 2 hours ago. And we already got 80 families complaining that their family members are still missing, but they're not on the list. It's like they're creating these numbers and they're just pulling it right out of their butthole. You know, I mean, honestly, that's what it's like here. They're just pulling these numbers out of thin air, reporting whatever they want, and no explanation given. You know, I think that we need an explanation as to how you went from 3,000 missing to 66. Now, if some of these people had died and the numbers were added to the death toll, that would start to make sense. But we're not seeing any of that. And I have yet to see a single family reunion. I have yet to see anyone reunite with their families after being missing from a fire. I have yet to see a TikTok video like, oh, I was missing for 3 days after the Lahaina fires. You know, I have yet to see any of that. It's not out there. So where they're coming up with these numbers, your guess is as good as mine. But let's dive back into this article. The updated list of 66 names is the third iteration from the MPD and the FBI. It was originally at 3,000. The death toll for the August 8th blaze that leveled the town of Lahaina remains at 115. Only about half of the victims have been identified so far. Hawaii Governor Josh Green said he expects overlap between the names on the missing list and remains already recovered, which means the death toll should not increase much. We're starting to see that the universe of 115 fatalities is about where we are, Green said. There may be some additional fatalities as we go through the next month. So obviously, it should go without saying that we want this death toll to be as low as possible, right? We want this death toll to be as low as possible. We all do. So I'm not upset that it's not higher. And the people of Maui, they're not upset that it's not higher. They're upset because they know it's higher. I'm upset because from everything I'm seeing and hearing, it looks like it's higher, but they're not telling us that. And now they're saying that, oh, some of these 66 people who are still missing, some of them are part of the 115 people who are dead. We just haven't identified the bodies yet. So now the numbers even get lower. They get even lower. And none of it adds up. None of it adds up. And already, before I could even get a video out about these numbers, we already have 80 families. While I'm talking, there's probably more families coming forward. By the time you're watching this video later today, there could be well over 100, 200 families that already came forward. Who knows how many families could have come forward by now, by the time you're watching this video. But at the time of this recording, we already got 80 families objecting that no. The missing persons list is not accurate. My family member, I have not found, and they're not on this list anymore. So it's like the government's just slipping people's family members off the list. And if you don't check, you won't know. And when you're trapped in a situation like this, you're not really, you got so much going on that you're probably not even worried about these news articles and the new lists that are dropping and stuff like that. You got so much other stuff to worry about. You just know that your family member's missing. And because you know that they're missing and they haven't been found, you're probably not even worried about checking these lists because you assume that your family member's on there, but for some reason the government has taken them off with no explanation, pretending as if they've been found. I don't know if it's to make themselves look better. I don't know why, but that's the situation on the ground that we are currently dealing with. This is what we are currently looking at, folks. I do not believe these numbers at all, not in the slightest bit. I would bet my bottom dollar that these numbers are false. And to make matters worse, the whole entire area is locked down. These people can't return to their homes or the site of their homes. They can't return to their neighborhoods. They can't even freely travel around the rest of Maui. There's a lot of stuff going on down there, so it's making the situation even harder. And some of these people are trying to look for their loved ones. Some of these people don't know if their loved ones perished in the flames or not. And it's making the situation really difficult. And all they have to rely on is whatever they're being told. And it looks like they're being told a bunch of BS. Imagine sitting there and reading these numbers and seeing that your missing family member was somehow, for some reason, removed from the list. Yet you can't go search for them. You can't even go to your home where they last were. You can't do any of that. They'll arrest you for trying to go to your home. And it's making these people feel powerless. And I feel as if they're trying to make these people feel desperate. And when I look at these numbers, if these numbers are true, that's one thing. But if anything, the way it's looking right now, it looks like these numbers are nothing more than just another slap in the face to a lot of the people who are living down there, who are now dealing with the extra stress of trying to get their loved ones' names added back on the missing persons list. People who are now, having to sit there and come to this weird realization that maybe there is something more to this fire, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on around the reporting. There's a lot of fudging the numbers. There's just so much. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming just to talk about and cover as a news story. So I imagine it's overwhelming for them. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.